First contact. The observatory at Arecibo was eerily quiet as Dr. Elena Rodriguez stared at her computer screen, heart pounding. The pattern of radio waves she'd been analyzing for weeks had finally resolved into an unmistakable message. Alien life was real, and they were reaching out. "Holy shit," she whispered, pushing back from her desk. "We need to call everyone." Within hours, the observatory was buzzing with activity. Scientists from around the world connected via video calls, poring over the data. Government officials demanded briefings. The media caught wind of the excitement, and speculation ran wild. Dr. Rodriguez found herself thrust into the spotlight, explaining the basics to a global audience. "The signal is coming from a star system about 40 light-years away," she said, pointing to a star map. "It's a repeated pattern, clearly artificial. We're working on decoding it now, but the mere fact of its existence is revolutionary." As the world reeled from the news, a select group of scientists, politicians, and military leaders gathered in Washington, D.C. to plan humanity's response. The debate was heated. "We should respond immediately with a message of peace," argued Dr. James Chen, a renowned linguist. "This is a chance for universal brotherhood." General Sarah Hawkins shook her head. "We need to be cautious. For all we know, this could be a trap. We should prepare our defenses first." President Amelia Foster listened to all sides before making her decision. "We'll do both," she declared. "We'll send a message of peace, but we'll also accelerate our space defense programs. Humanity needs to be ready for anything." Over the next months, the world changed. Old conflicts seemed petty in the face of potential alien contact. Resources poured into space research and defense. A new sense of global unity emerged as humanity prepared to face the unknown together. Dr. Rodriguez worked tirelessly with her team to decode the alien message. Bit by bit, they pieced together its meaning. "It's an invitation," she announced one day, her voice filled with awe. "They're coming to meet us." The news sent shockwaves through society. Some celebrated, while others stockpiled supplies in bunkers. As the estimated arrival date approached, the tension was palpable. In orbit, a hastily assembled fleet of international spacecraft stood ready. On the ground, powerful new weapons were aimed at the sky. And in homes around the world, people held their breath, watching the stars and wondering what the future would bring. Dr. Rodriguez stood on the roof of the observatory, gazing at the night sky. She thought about the message she'd helped craft in response to the aliens, a distillation of human knowledge, culture, and hopes. Whatever happened next, humanity had put its best foot forward. A streak of light caught her eye, brighter than a shooting star, moving with purpose. Her breath caught in her throat. "They're here," she whispered, as the alien ship began its descent towards Earth. Alien arrival. The alien vessel descended through Earth's atmosphere with impossible grace, defying expectations of fiery entry. It was smooth and iridescent, shaped like a massive teardrop. As it approached the designated landing zone, a cleared area in the Nevada desert, the world watched with bated breath. Captain Michael Jung stood at attention beside President Foster, trying to quell the nervous energy coursing through his body. As the head of the newly formed Global Defense Force, he was responsible for humanity's safety. The weight of that responsibility felt crushing as the alien ship touched down, kicking up a cloud of dust. For several tense minutes, nothing happened. Then, with a soft hiss, a doorway appeared in the ship's seamless hull. A ramp extended, and 3 figures emerged. The aliens were tall and slender, with silvery skin that seemed to shimmer in the sunlight. They had 4 arms and large almond-shaped eyes that blinked vertically. Despite their alien appearance, there was something undeniably intelligent and aware in their gaze. President Foster stepped forward, hand extended in greeting. "On behalf of humanity, welcome to Earth," she said, her voice steady, despite the historic magnitude of the moment. The lead alien raised all 4 hands in a gesture that seemed peaceful. When it spoke, the words came not from its mouth, but from a small device on its chest. "We are the Zarketh," it said in perfectly accented English. "We come in peace, seeking alliance and exchange of knowledge." The tension in the air eased slightly, but Captain Zhang remained alert. He'd studied too much history to fully relax. First contacts rarely went smoothly in reality. Over the next few days, the aliens, who called themselves the Zarketh, shared glimpses of their advanced technology. They could manipulate gravity, had mastered faster-than-light travel, and possessed medical knowledge that seemed like magic to human doctors. "We wish to elevate humanity," the Zarketh ambassador explained during a UN meeting, "to help you join the galactic community." Many were thrilled at the prospect. Others, like Captain Zhang, remained skeptical. "What's in it for them?" he asked during a private briefing with President Foster. "No species travels 40 light-years out of pure altruism." Foster nodded, her brow furrowed. "I agree. We need to proceed carefully." "Dr. Rodriguez, what's your take?" The astrophysicist had been working closely with the Zarketh, studying their technology. "Their knowledge is incredible," she said. "But there's something they're not telling us. I can sense it in the way they evade certain questions." As the days passed, the Zarketh's presence on Earth grew. They established bases around the globe, ostensibly to better share their technology. But reports began to surface of people going missing near these bases, of strange experiments being conducted in secret. Captain Zhang's unease grew. He ordered his teams to discreetly monitor the aliens' activities, gathering intel. What he discovered chilled him to the bone. "Madam President," he said, barging into the Oval Office one evening, "we have a problem. The Zarketh, they're not here to help us. They're preparing for invasion." Rising tensions. President Foster stared at the evidence Captain Zhang had presented, her face pale. Satellite images showed massive Zarketh ships hiding behind the moon. Intercepted communications hinted at a species uplift program that sounded suspiciously like genetic experimentation on humans. "How could we have been so blind?" she murmured. "They played us perfectly," Zhang replied grimly. "Used our hope and curiosity against us." Foster's jaw set with determination. "We need to confront them, demand answers." "With all due respect, Madam President," Zhang countered, "I don't think that's wise. If we tip our hand, they might accelerate their plans. We need time to prepare." After a tense debate, a plan was formed. They would continue to play along with the Zarketh, while secretly mobilizing Earth's defenses. It was a dangerous game of deception and preparation. Dr. Rodriguez found herself in a difficult position. The Zarketh still trusted her, sharing technological insights that made her head spin. But now she had to use that trust to gather intelligence, all while wrestling with her own feelings of betrayal and fear. During one research session, she casually asked her Zarketh counterpart about their homeworld. The alien hesitated before answering, its vertical eyelids fluttering rapidly, a tell she'd come to recognize as discomfort. "Our world is no more," it said slowly. "We seek a new home." Rodriguez's mind raced. Was this the real reason for their presence? Not invasion, but desperation. She reported her findings to Zhang and Foster, adding another layer of complexity to an already volatile situation. As weeks passed, tensions rose. More people went missing. Strange structures began appearing in remote areas. The Zarketh grew increasingly evasive when questioned about their long-term plans. Then came the incident that pushed everything to the brink. A Zarketh ship appeared over New York City, its massive form casting a shadow over the skyline. Before anyone could react, it emitted a pulse of energy that knocked out all electronics in a 50-mile radius. Panic ensued. Captain Zhang deployed his forces, ready for full-scale war. But President Foster made one last attempt at diplomacy, arranging an emergency meeting with the Zarketh ambassador. "We know about the ships behind the moon," she said bluntly. "We know about the experiments. Explain yourselves, or we will have no choice but to treat you as hostile invaders." The ambassador's silvery skin seemed to pale further. "You do not understand," it said, its translated voice tinged with what sounded like desperation. "We need your world. Our species is dying. The Uplift program, it is to make your kind compatible, so we might share this planet." Foster's eyes narrowed. "You should have been honest from the start. We might have helped you. But now you've broken our trust and threatened our people. I'm sorry, but you need to leave. Immediately." The ambassador's eyes flashed with an alien emotion. "We cannot leave. We have nowhere else to go. Please, we can work together. We can." Its words were cut off by the sound of explosions. Outside, the sky filled with Zarketh ships, descending from behind the moon. The pretense of peace was over. The invasion had begun. As alarms blared and the world erupted into chaos, humanity faced its greatest challenge. Could they stand against a technologically superior foe, or would Earth fall to the desperate Zarketh? The stage was set for a battle that would determine the fate of two species and test the limits of human ingenuity and determination. Human ingenuity. As Zarketh ships filled the skies, humanity's carefully laid plans sprang into action. Captain John coordinated a global defense from a hidden bunker, his teams deploying advanced weapons developed in secret using glimpses of alien technology. Dr. Rodriguez found herself in an unexpected role. Her understanding of Zarketh tech made her invaluable in developing countermeasures. She worked feverishly with a team of scientists, trying to find weaknesses in the alien defenses. The first days of the conflict were devastating. Zarketh energy weapons leveled cities. Their gravity manipulation technology rendered traditional missiles useless. But humans are nothing if not adaptable. In Australia, a group of engineers discovered that simple, non-electronic weapons, like trebuchets, could bypass Zarketh energy shields. Suddenly, ancient warfare techniques found new relevance in an interstellar conflict. A team of hackers in Brazil managed to crack the alien communication codes, giving Earth crucial intelligence. They discovered that the Zarketh were not as united as they appeared. There were factions among them, some who disagreed with the invasion. But the true turning point came from an unexpected source. Dr. James Chen, the linguist who had advocated for peace during First Contact, made a breakthrough in fully translating the Zarketh language. He discovered that their word for compatible in the context of the Uplift program was closer in meaning to submissive. They don't want to share the planet, he realized with horror. They want to turn us into a servant species. This revelation galvanized global resistance. Humanity would not submit. Captain Zhang used this information to sow discord among the Zarketh ranks, broadcasting messages to the dissenting factions. Some alien ships turned against their own, creating chaos in the invading forces. Meanwhile, Dr. Rodriguez had her own eureka moment. Analyzing Zarketh biology, she realized their reliance on technology had left them vulnerable to certain frequencies of sound. "We can't beat them with brute force," she explained to President Foster, "but we might be able to incapacitate them." A plan formed. As Zarketh ground forces advanced on major cities, humans unleashed their secret weapon, a cacophony of sound at just the right frequency, broadcast from every speaker and device they could muster. The effect was immediate. Alien troops collapsed, disoriented and in pain. Humanity pressed its advantage. Trebuchets launched payloads of the sonic weapons into Zarketh ships. Hackers disrupted alien navigation systems. Soldiers using simple, non-electronic weapons engaged in close combat. It wasn't an easy fight. The aliens still had superior technology and desperately needed a new home. But humanity's creativity, adaptability, and sheer determination began to turn the tide. As the battle raged, Dr. Rodriguez worked on another front. Using the Zarketh's own genetic technology, she developed a virus. Not to harm the aliens, but to help them. "If we can adapt them to our world," she reasoned, "maybe we can end this without destroying them." The war reached a crescendo. Zarketh ships fell from the sky, brought down by improbable weapons and human ingenuity. On the ground, alien troops found themselves outmaneuvered by tactics they'd never encountered in their technologically advanced society. And through it all, a message of hope spread. A chance for coexistence, for a solution that didn't require the subjugation or destruction of either species. As the dust settled on battlefields around the world, both humans and Zarketh looked to their leaders. The fate of two species hung in the balance, with the possibility of peace or mutually assured destruction, resting on the decisions made in the coming hours. Resolution. The final confrontation took place not on a battlefield, but in the very meeting room where first contact had been made. President Foster sat across from the Zarketh High Commander, their eyes locked in a silent battle of wills. Captain Zhang and Dr. Rodriguez flanked the president, while lesser Zarketh officials accompanied their leader. "Your invasion has failed," Foster said, her voice firm but not unkind. "But we understand your desperation. We're prepared to offer an alternative to war." The High Commander's vertical eyelids fluttered rapidly. "You would negotiate. After all this?" Foster nodded. "Humanity has a long history of conflict, but also of reconciliation. We believe in second chances." Dr. Rodriguez stepped forward, explaining her virus. "It will alter your biology, allowing you to live comfortably on Earth without the need for extensive terraforming or human subjugation. You can have a home here, but as equals, not conquerors." The Zarketh officials chittered among themselves in their native language. Captain Zhang tensed, ready for any sudden moves, but the High Commander raised a hand, silencing its subordinates. "You would show mercy, even after we deceived you." The alien's translated voice carried a note of genuine surprise. "Mercy, yes," Foster replied, "but not blind trust. There will be conditions." What followed was a grueling negotiation that lasted days. Both sides had to make difficult concessions. The Zarketh would submit to the virus, adapting to Earth, rather than forcing Earth to adapt to them. They would share their technology openly, but under human supervision. A joint council would be formed to govern interactions between the species. In return, humanity would help the Zarketh establish settlements on Earth, predominantly in areas unsuitable for human habitation. There would be cultural exchange programs, scientific collaborations, and a gradual integration of the two societies. It wasn't a perfect solution. There were protests on both sides. Some humans felt they were being too lenient with the invaders. Some Zarketh saw accepting the virus as an unacceptable loss of their identity. But faced with the alternative of mutual destruction, cooler heads prevailed. As the agreement was signed, Dr. Rodriguez couldn't help but feel a sense of awe. "We did it," she whispered to Captain Zhang. "We found a way." He nodded, a rare smile crossing his face. "Humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to adapt, to find solutions where none seemed possible. We just proved that on a cosmic scale." The implementation of the agreement was not without its challenges. There were setbacks, misunderstandings, and moments of tension. But as months turned to years, a remarkable transformation took place. Zarketh colonies flourished in Earth's deserts and tundras, their adapted forms no longer needing the extensive life support of their ships. Human cities incorporated alien architecture and technology, reaching towards the stars. The first human Zarketh hybrid children were born, bridging the gap between species in ways no one had imagined possible. Earth's first faster-than-light ship, a collaboration between human and Zarketh engineers, prepared for its maiden voyage. As Dr. Rodriguez watched the launch from Mission Control, tears in her eyes, she reflected on the journey that had brought them here. First contact had nearly led to extinction, but human ingenuity, compassion, and determination had turned potential devastation into a new golden age. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged stronger, wiser, and ready to take its place among the stars. As the ship disappeared in a flash of light, carrying human and Zarketh crew members to distant worlds, Dr. Rodriguez smiled. The message they carried to the galaxy was clear: underestimate humanity at your peril. but ally with us, and together, we can achieve the impossible. The fatal mistake of challenging humans had become the gateway to a brighter future for two species, and perhaps for the entire galaxy.